Hello everybody, SMA Watts here, and we are in the finals of the Legacy Tribal War Invitational. We have Mr. Mojo Rising versus Arcbound Day Laborer. Rules are the same as they were for our third place matchup. Both players picked 2 letters, taking turns, and any tribe with those letters in their tribal name has been functionally banned. And looks like both players are Arcbound. Both players are keeping their initial 7. Arcbound chose Z and B, focusing obviously on zombies and beasts, which is one of the ones I would have definitely picked against Mr. Mojo. Mr. Mojo chose K and G, which I would assume the targets there would be knights and goblins. Could be wrong. Bloodstained Mire, obviously going black-red on both sides. Well, not obviously, but potentially going black-red on both sides. Arcbound both players tend to favor relatively aggressive strategies. So let's see what we have here. Alright. Mr. Mojo clearly on some black strategy. Arcbound possibly on Grixis. I would suspect at least black-blue or red-blue. Cracking his fetch to find... So he is on Jund. And bringing out the Elvish Aberration. I have a feeling, since E was not named, we are looking at an Elves deck. Not a terrible surprise. Mr. Mojo has played Elves more than a few times, I think. Not, though I will say, not an Elves deck from what I would have been looking at initially. Potentially mutants, but I would be very surprised. It's not exactly a powerful tribe. Alright, so it looks like Arcbound is, at the very least, on an is-it plan. Not surprising the Bloodstained Mire, then. It is, Scalding Tarns are not particularly accessible. Cycling a Street Wraith. I think I know what plan we're on here. Much like, his Restored Balance Beasts, I believe we are on some form of Living End play. We have mutants, and Street Wraith is a wraith, so I'm guessing mutants then? Typically you go with beasts for this plan, but that would have been cut off by the bee. I am curious to find out how he... And... Are we going with humans on Arcbound side? Snapcaster Mage, Young Pyromancer, Delver of Secrets... You can make a pretty powerful spell-based humans magic-y deck. Oh, so I missed what he cycled there. Where's my... Here it is. And that was another Street Wraith. Putting a potentially quite powerful Living End into action. And we cascade. And I have a feeling that's cascade. We're cascading into a counterspell of some form. Well, I have a feeling the Living End that will be cascaded into will get counterspelled. Personally, I will say I think the coolest counterspell to whip out here would actually be Memory Lapse or Remand. What do we got? Oh, just what I was thinking. Memory Lapse it, put it right back on top. Which means he drew a living end. Nothing quite worse than that. Demonic Dread. Finding another living end, very deep down. And that is going to be enough for that game. Cannot come back from the living end. Alright, let's go ahead and get into game 2. It's going to be Arcbound Ravager choosing to play first. Mr. Mojo Rising was hoping his opponent would be on elves, but pretty sure we're on humans. Gitaxian Probe, yeah, we're on what looks to be basically the modern Treasure Cruise burn deck. Okay. Neither player mulligan, so I have to say Arcbound Day Labor not having a 1-drop is a bit of a disadvantage for him here. If he can get a 2-drop in, I think his optimal line of play is to get something down early and keep up his defenses after that. Like a young Pyromancer here would probably be his optimal line, should he have it. I don't think he really is happy passing his turn on turn 2. I mean, at this point, the rest of the game, he has to basically keep up 2 mana at least. I am really curious, tribe-wise, what Mr. Mojo is actually on, since none of his creatures seem to share a tribe so far. Could as well be in his hand. Into turn, Snapcaster Mage. Or no. Oh, into turn? I have to say, I don't think I like that. I think it was better play to have Snapcaster during his turn to buy back the Gitaxian Probe. Your opponent wasn't going to do anything on turn 2, generally speaking. Basically gave up a card and a tiny bit of information. Monastery Swiftspear, excellent creature. Rounding out that humans spell package I forgot about. Its newest recruit. But to be honest, looking at the art on that, I think that's an elf pretending to be a human. Those are some pointy ears. Applies a lot of pressure very quickly. But I have a feeling we might be seeing this game go very much the same way as the first one, provided he's drawn one of his cascade sources. And turn cycle. Wirewood Guardian, you are a mutant, so I'm thinking we are mutants versus humans. Just as the X-Men told us it would be. And looks like we have the Cascade spell. Into Living End. Putting up a not quite lethal attack. And I think this may be over. This is a very unique version of the deck, I must say. That Elf Warrior coming out. But that does, I believe, make our math make this attack lethal. Yep, that does make it 17. That is a turn 4 kill, which is pretty impressive for a living in deck. Usually it takes turn 5 or 6. And with that, Mr. Mojo Rising is our champion, and Arcbound Day Laborer is taking home the silver.